winter kicked our rear ends in pretty good, so we had a lot of work to do. I like to say I maintain a surface, I get paid to maintain a surface. We were growing grass. I don't like to grow grass, so we had some seeding to do. We had a lot of that kind of stuff, little thin areas and some fairways mostly, but some green stuff and just a different feel. Most years we're ready to rock and roll by the time we open. We certainly were not this year. So. This spring, winter and spring was as hard on us as it's ever been. You know, it's been cold, and I mean, we got jackets on right now. It's almost, we're getting close enough to June. You know, we open in 4 days. That's just how it goes.
We know it was a really dry winter in Nebraska. Was it pretty dry here as well?
It was. We did not have nearly the troubles that those boys had, but it was a tough year in Nebraska. I heard a lot of horror stories.
Winter was tough on us, and anybody out in the plains for the most part, it was tough. We had a lot of dead grass across the country.
It's just part of the game. You're gonna have to give and take as Mother Nature goes, and she's been taking a lot lately, so we just back off and take where we can get.
This year we had, zero miserable moisture from October, I think it was the 3rd, but it could have been the 4th or whatever. From October 4th until April 16th, none. Not a drop of snow, nothing. Couple that with high winds, temperature fluctuations, that's a token example of desiccation on turf. Desiccation is where the crown gets cold or dry or both, and it just dies basically because it gets too exposed. So you get wind can cause that, wind and cold temperatures together can cause that. You know, in a year like this, it was pretty tough. I mean, it was just, we watered 40 some days. You know, that's 5 guys. That's a lot of work. I mean, it's not just turning on the heads. It's quick couplers and tow lines, and that's a lot. And we did a great job, but we got dinged up in some fairways in some spots, I'm sure, and so did everybody else, you know, and that's tough. That's no fun. The thing that bothers me, and I love golf first, and I love Nebraska has this great, like all these small towns have these little awesome 9-hole golf courses, and my goal is to always play as many. My daughter just started playing the last couple years. I love playing those things. Those places got decimated. Anything north of I-80 got smashed pretty hard. I think it's a good lesson for us. I wouldn't say we have unlimited resources, but we have more resources than most places, and we still get the shit kicked out of us this winter. And if we can take any lesson, it's just Mother Nature, she's undefeated. So we have good plans. We'll always strategize, try to redo our plan, try to see how we can get better, but sometimes you still get beat up, and we got beat up pretty. Winter was just tough, you know. And those opportunities, those are really good learning opportunities. You don't learn a lot when everything's perfect.
Maybe we could talk a little bit about the interns themselves.
Sure.
We could start with Austin. Austin was just in here with us.
Great kid.
All right, I'm Austin Eggers. I went to school at Southeast Tech, and now I'm currently doing an internship. I started at Ballyneal, and now I'm finishing out my summer at Sand Hills right now. I grew up in Custer, South Dakota, so a pretty small town in the Black Hills. My whole family is pretty big into golf, and I think I picked up my first clubs when I was about 4. So in high school, I kind of did my own lawn care business, so I did do a little bit of that. Just started off mowing my neighbor's lawn, and she's like, I got a friend, can you mow their lawn? And it just kind of built on from there. When I was about a sophomore, junior, I decided I wanted to do something work-wise on a golf course. So I figured being on the maintenance side of it would be a really good fit for me. And I just graduated this spring with my sports turf management degree. I love being outside. I've worked a few inside jobs, and I knew I couldn't do that, so I knew I'd be outside all the time, and I really enjoy that. And I've always just had a love for growing grass and keeping care of it and making it look nice. So.
When did you go to Oakland Hills?
I went there after my first year of college. We had to do an internship. They just renovated the South Course a year before I got there. It's a huge place, big bunkers, big greens. Out in Michigan, I pretty much just did the same 2 or 3 things the whole summer. I did a lot of walk mowing, a lot of hand watering, and then just kind of some miscellaneous mowing and stuff like that. It was just kind of there to be there. I mean, it's probably not the best way to put it, but that's kind of how it was. And out here, I've been able to do a lot more things. So after last summer, I was kind of hesitant. I was like, I'm gonna get burnt out of this really easy. Then after this summer, it's like, wow, this is really what I want to do. And it's been a great summer for me, and I'm really enjoying it. And it's helped me out a lot with what I want to do in the future, I think.
Austin's just a solid kid. These are like tryouts for us. Like, we're not sure that not everybody can live in Mullen, Nebraska or Holyoke. So our internship is directly a feeder program. You know, my 2 assistants both were interns. Both of Jared's assistants were interns. We're looking for our next guys because our guys are going to move on. So it's very important, are they going to fit in with our guy and our guys and girls and crew, and are they going to, you know, that's important. We're here a lot together. They got to make it. Austin easily make it. This is a conversation across, you know, the turf industry all over the place. Is we're having trouble finding help. And when I was going to school, you know, if you're a top end club, you probably had 20 kids to choose from each year if you really wanted to. We've noticed a downtick, you know, probably in the last 15, 20 years. Now 15, since I've been out here really, just in kids going to school, whether it's Michigan State or Penn State, or, you know, there's just been less and less kids. What have I been noticing? You know, we have a labor shortage anyways. I live in a town of Mullen that's 500 people. If I don't have every high school and college kid that's worth a crap on my staff, I don't do it. You know, and we're sitting here at the, you know, clubhouse. You know, we employ 100 plus people. We don't exist without the town, period. So we've had to be very creative in making sure that the town kind of wrapped itself around us, and then we wrapped ourselves around it. When I first moved here, it was like, every kid has to know exactly who I am, and and I immediately went to the coaches. You saw Coach, who's with this big handlebar mustache and is just an icon out here. I knew I immediately had to be friends with him and figure out, like, tell me who the best 10 kids are. And we try to, this is gonna sound wrong, but we try to make sure we know exactly who, those kids know exactly who we are before they ever are, you know, available to work.
I never understood why he was going to all these basketball games and all these away volleyball games. I didn't get that at the beginning, but it finally hit me that he's recruiting, he's seeing good kids, he's gaining their respect, and now they're gonna come do great work for him every summer. And it's this great symbiotic relationship he started that I had to steal. That was immediately something I had to bring here.
So 2 Jareds, my Jared Sperlin here at Sand Hills. He's an assistant wrestling coach at the neighboring town. He was in Mullen. Now his brother is the head wrestling coach in Hyannis, which would be 30 miles away. I do stats and stuff for basketball, but I'd helped with football, basketball, wrestling.
We're going to baseball games, we're going to basketball games. My assistant just got the assistant baseball coach job. We're very excited for him to start peeling some kids away that way. So you gotta get involved. You can't just post in the newspaper and wait for people to show up. It's not happening. So yeah, we've been aware of that labor crunch forever in these small towns.
Some of these kids we've been fortunate enough that have turned into turf guys and girls, but you know, we just want to help them in life. We just want them to make good choices. We want them to come in here in a safe work environment, have fun, know that those environments exist, and that's how we retain our guys. You've met a bunch of them. I mean, a lot of these kids are 5, 6, 7 years deep working for us. That's ideal. We want them to come in, have fun, be themselves. You want to wear a hoodie, wear a hoodie. You want to wear a t-shirt, wear a t-shirt. We want guys and girls to come and have fun 90% of the time. I don't think we do a great job of telling kids, like, Kyle, you can do this and you can have a pretty fulfilled life, and it's sports related. I love this. I get to do this shit every day.
you know, obviously a tough winter. We talked in the spring about how hard it was on courses that didn't have the resources that you had.
Sure.
How's the area bounced back from it, and what have been some of the outcomes of the Winterkill?
Well, you guys are out. We're in great shape, and that's not perfect, but we're pretty close. Thankfully for us, you know, it's a game of attrition. I'm not a smart guy, but we got a little bit better, and I've been here 16 years, so you'd think I'm at least a little bit better than we were 16 years ago. So we've just built a little bit, so we could handle that more than most places, but I think it's really good. They went and seen there's a lot of golf courses near and far that had some dead grass, and that shit happens. You can have all the resources or none of the resources. Our little 9-hole courses in town got just smashed. They got to see all that. That's when you learn. You learn when there's like, oh shit, that ain't good. From what I've heard, most everybody's doing well, and everybody gets a plan, and it's always impressive. The turf industry is great about rallying around people and, you know, letting them borrow this or that, and you get one golf course that, you know, 5 of them are all using the same thing. So boots on the ground, I haven't been to every little place, but from what I've seen, everybody's moving in the right direction, and everybody's gonna be moving forward here soon.
How has Austin been doing?
He's great. He's out. He would be one of our most coveted interns because he's going to finish out the season with us. That doesn't mean he's better than the other interns. It's just like, man, we're going to need some humans here pretty soon.
So I don't have to go back to school this year, so they said they'd keep me as long as they could, and that's kind of how we came to that decision. And I'll be here at the Sand Hills till about November. I will definitely have a lot smaller staff, so that'll mean I'll get to do a lot more things. I'll get to fairway mow, triplex greens, spray. I'll get to do a lot more stuff, so that will be a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot more advancement throughout the summer than from where I started.
Tell me about working with Kyle.
He's a lot of fun to work with. He's a great boss. I enjoy him a lot. He's taught me a lot of things in the short few weeks I've been here. I've learned a lot, like with leadership-wise, like Kyle and Jared, they've been really awesome to me.
Austin or Dustin or any of these guys can go anywhere and learn the basics of what we do from a golf course superintendent side, mow and that kind of stuff. We want to make them good decision makers. That's our biggest thing. We have to kind of pivot a lot during the season, whether it's the weather or whatever, because the weather is just pretty tumultuous. It's going to be super windy, super hot, super cold. We want kids who aren't afraid to kind of put their nose in it, if you will. So
I think it's really cool to see your boss out there raking a bunker with you, because you'd think most places you wouldn't see that. They'd just be sitting in their cart driving around telling you what to do, but they're out there helping us, and they do the same things we do. Like they'll walk mow greens, they'll rake bunkers, they do it all with us, so that's really nice seeing that they are willing to work as hard as we do too.
I think my crew, you guys have seen my crew, a bunch of high school and college kids, they're going to respond a whole lot better to me getting in the middle and raking bunkers once in a while with them. Is that what I really want to do? Not all the time, but I mean, I like that stuff too. So I just think it works better from a culture standpoint, that if like, hey, that's the shittiest job, I'll do that. That's fine.
That's the superintendent I want to be. Like I want to be in the bunkers raking with the interns or high school help or whatever it is. I think that shows good leadership.
What's the plan from here?
I think I'm gonna go to New Zealand for about 4 months or so. I'll be at a golf course out there, TRI Links. I know they're working on a course out there and stuff like that, so it should be a lot of fun. I always told myself I want to travel across seas to work at a golf course, and the opportunity came up, so I decided better not waste that opportunity and jump on it. And then when I come back, I'd definitely like to stay in the Midwest somewhere. Probably try to find somewhere to be an assistant for a couple more years, and then hopefully 3 or 4 years be a super at a course somewhere. That's kind of the furthest ahead I've thought of right now. I'm just going, seeing whatever happens, happens, I guess.
We want awesome young people in the turf industry. And if we got a pretty extensive network, and to see all these guys going and doing awesome things, nothing makes me happier than that, for sure. And you know, that's what it's about. We just try to care about them. That's it.